686,000, 3,184,000, 100,000. This is not the number of jelly beans in a jar. It is not the amount of money I have in my account. It is not the amount of followers I have on Twitter. 686,000 is the number of children that were victimized in 2012. 3,184,000 is the number of children that Child Protective Services responded to. 100,000 is the number of children that died as a result of abuse and neglect. This is statistical data gathered from the Children's Bureau, Administration of Children, Youth and Families, Administration for Children and Families of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Have I gained your attention as yet? Children are being victimized at an increasingly hazardous rate, and one of the organizations which are working closely to try to eradicate this growing epidemic is Children's Center for Hope and Healing. Like me, we all know a child in one way or another. It can be your child, your niece or nephew, your godchild, your friend's child, your neighbor's child, your boss's child. We all are associated with a child in one way or another. For that reason alone, we are all affected by this terrible phenomenon. Today, I will tell you about the organization Children's Center for Hope and Healing, who chooses to work with children and families that have been traumatized by sexual abuse. I will inform you of the problems that exist that facilitate the existence of this organization. And finally, I will tell you their mission and how we as a group can advocate and support them in their struggle, one child at a time. Now that I have prepared you for the topic, let me inform you of the need for this organization. The Journal of Child Abuse article, Effects and Prevention of Child Sexual Abuse, confirms the maltreatment of children affects millions and costs billions annually. The figures that were stated previously identify the problem and the need for organizations to rally and support America's littlest victims. So many of the 100,000 fall through the cracks and fail to receive adequate protection and treatment. CCHH states that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused before the age of 18. 24% of these are abused before the age of 5. These numbers are both astonishing and daunting. The need for this organization to continue its work is also established in the fact that maltreated children grow up into adults with serious social, mental, and emotional problems. Psychological aspects of children's sexual abuse article confirms that 90% of adults who were abused in childhood develop social and psychological problems, and they abuse their own children or others. This ultimately puts society at a risk for a social epidemic. I've informed you of the desperate need for Children's Center for Hope and Healing existence. Now, let us find out who CCHH is and what their mission is. Children's Center for Hope and Healing is a nonprofit organization whose head office is located in Gainesville, Georgia. They're dedicated to stopping the cycle of child abuse and preventing the exploitation of children. Children's Center of Hope and Healing is a collaboration of local DFCS workers, judges, DAs, community mental health workers, and law enforcement officials. Incorporated in 1987, CCHH expanded, and various other communities joined in their support and endorsing of their mission to restore dignity, trust, and hope in individuals and families traumatized by child sexual abuse through accessible, effective therapy, advocacy, and education. The organization was formed as a result of the rising incidence of children with sexual behavioral problems, and now has extended its services to include women with unresolved issues as a result of child sexual abuse. Their vision continues to be a safe community in which all can thrive which all thrive free from sexual abuse. Now that you know who they are, let's look at what they do. Children's Center for Hope and Healing programs include victim services, adult services, prevention, and educational services. They use a wide range of no-cost counseling and techniques such as group, play, and art therapy to counter the adverse effects of sexual abuse and initiate the healing process. One of CCHH's major goals is to educate children and parents on how to protect themselves from their child from harm in the future. They also are involved in community education through the offering of speakers who are available for lectures on child abuse. We have established the necessity for this organization and the work that they are involved in. Now let us explore how you can help. We realize that the work involved is demanding and utilizes the continued support of the community to be effective. Their website, phone number, and address are available for you to get involved. Community support, volunteers, donation, and funds are some of the ways that you can support Children's Center for Hope and Healing. Today, I told you about CCHH and their work with traumatized children and parents due to sexual abuse. I informed you of the problems existing that facilitates the existence of this organization, and I informed you of their mission. Now, as a group, I implore you to advocate and support them in their struggle, one child at a time, one day at a time. It is necessary. We all know a child in one way or another. It can be your child, a niece or nephew, your godchild, your friend's child, your neighbor's child, your boss's child. We are all associated with a child in one way or another. For that reason alone, we are all affected by this terrible phenomenon. Children are being victimized at an increasingly hazardous rate, and one of the organizations which are working closely to try to eradicate this growing epidemic is Children's Center for Hope and Healing. Let 686,000, 3,184,100 be the number of children saved and protected due to organizations like Children's Center of Hope and Healing. Thank you.